Hello guys, this is Angel. Today I'm gonna be tackling eyes from TryHackMe. So let's get to it. I'm joining the room. Then okay, I've never done this box. I remember I've seen this before, but since it was easy and it was a Windows machine, I didn't really get into it. Back when I was pursuing the all the learning paths from TryHackMe. So I've just decided to complete this because I want to keep up my strike. So yeah, let's do it. So okay, so connect. Oh yeah, connect to the TryHackMe network. Please note that this machine does not respond to ping ICMP and may take a few minutes to boot up. The virtual machine used in this room, eyes, can be downloaded from offline usage from Darkstar Resources HTML. The sequel to this room, Blaster, can be found here. Have I done Blaster? I don't remember having done this room. I just want to check real quick. No, I have not. This is just a 30-minute box. So okay, this should be taking me a few minutes, right? Okay. Answer the questions below. Connect to your network using OpenVPN. Here's a mini walkthrough of connecting. Go to your access page. Yeah, I do know how to connect. So sure. Download sudo. Okay, sure. Sure, you're ready to use now. You can deploy material. Sure. Let's just complete all of this because I'm just gonna go about connecting, and since this is gonna be taking a few minutes, I will boot this already. So okay, so now let's just get to it. Let's tmax, then let's create another window, and then this is gonna be my VPN, and this is gonna be probably my SSH, right? So if I go to cdctf, TryHackMe, here I can see my VPN. So sudo open VPN. Let's connect to the TryHackMe network. Ooh, what's wrong with me today? Yeah, okay. The next one I want to do is save, and then sudo save, and then the IP address that I'm gonna get here. So it's been deployed already. They want me to run nmap on this, so this is gonna be a good review on how to proceed. The first thing you do is reconnaissance, then you gain access, then you escalate your privileges, then looting, post exploitation, and then the extra credit. So this shouldn't take much time for me to complete since this is an easy box. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's copy the IP. They did mention that I was not gonna be able to, or that this machine was not gonna receive any ping, so I'm not gonna bother pinging it to confirm that I'm connected. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume I am. So okay, nmap. Deploy the machine. This may take up to 3 minutes to start. Sure, I've already deployed it. So what else? Launch a scan against your target machine. I recommend using the SYN scan to set to scan all ports on the machine. The scan command will be provided as a hint. However, it's recommended to complete the room on nmap prior to this room. I've already completed that room, I think. Yeah, I have. So, but I do not remember some syntax for it. Okay, so this is the mode to do it using a SYN scan, just to scan all boards from the machine. So let's do that, right? So if I go here, then I go here, then 142.151, that should do. You requested the scan type, which requires sudo privileges. Okay, sure. Okay, so launch a scan against your target machine. I've already done this. Once the scan completes, we'll see a number of interesting ports open on this machine. As you might have guessed, the firewall has been disabled with the service completely shut down, leaving very little to protect this machine. One of the more interesting ports that is open is Microsoft Remote Desktop. What port is this open on? So let's just wait for the nmap to give us some results. We're gonna check. Oh, 3%. Okay, this is gonna take a while. What service did nmap identify as running on port 8000? First word of this service. Okay. And then what does nmap identify as the host name of the machine? All caps for the answer. Okay, this is gonna be taking a little bit, so let's just smap nmap. Oh yeah, I just want to go and review the nmap module because I've done this before, but as I told you before, I've not been hacking away things for a while, so I want to get back to this. So let's just read while our scan is running. So if you don't mind waiting with me. But yeah, okay, this is the Nmap chart, and then this is the introduction. When it comes to hacking, knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have about a target system or network, the more options you have available. This makes it imperative that proper enumeration is carried out before any exploitation attempts are made. Say we have been given an IP or multiple IP addresses to perform a security audit on. Before we do anything else, we need to get an idea of the landscape we are attacking. What this means is that we need to establish which services are running on the targets. For example, perhaps one of them is running a web server, and another is acting as a Windows Active Directory domain controller. The first stage is establishing this map of the landscape is something called port scanning. When a computer runs a network service, it opens a networking construct called a port to receive the connections. Ports are necessary for making multiple network requests or having multiple services available. For example, when you load several web pages at once in a web browser, the program must have some way of determining which tab is loading which web page. This is done by establishing connections to the remote web server using different ports on your local machine. Equally, if you want a server to be able to run more than one service, for example, perhaps you want your web server to run both HTTP and HTTPS versions of the site, then you need some way to direct the traffic to the appropriate service. Once again, ports are the solution to this. Network connections are made between two ports, an upper port listening on the server and a randomly selected port on your own computer. For example, when you connect to a web page, your computer may open port 49534 to connect to the server's port 443. Yeah, that's right. So we're connecting to the HTTPS servers of all these websites. So my computer basically uses different ports to connect to one same port but from different servers, right? Okay. As in the previous example, the diagram shows what happens when you connect to numerous websites at the same time. Your computer opens up a different high-numbered port at random, which it uses for all its communications with the remote server. Every computer has a total of 65,535 available ports. However, many of these are registered as standard ports. For example, a HTTP web service can nearly always be found on port 80 of the server. A HTTPS web service can be found on port 443. Windows Net BIOS can be found on port 139, and SMB can be found on port 445. It is important to note, however, that especially in a CTF setting, it is not unheard of for even these standard ports to be altered, making it even more imperative that we perform appropriate enumeration of the target. If we do not know which of these ports a server has opened, then we do not have a hope of successfully attacking the target. Thus, it is crucial that we begin any attack with a port scan. This can be accomplished in a variety of ways, usually using a tool called Nmap, which is the focus of this room, and that can be used to perform many different kinds of port scan. The most common of these will be introduced in the upcoming tasks. However, the basic theory in this Nmap will connect to each port of the target in turn. Depending on how the port responds, it can be determined as being open, closed, or filtered, usually by a firewall. Once we know which ports are open, we can then look at enumerating which services are running on each port, either manually or more commonly using Nmap. So why Nmap? The short answer is that it's currently the industry standard for a reason. No other port scanning tool comes close to matching its functionality, although some newcomers are now matching it for speed. It is an extremely powerful tool, made even more powerful by its scripting engine, which can be used to scan for vulnerabilities, and in some cases even perform the exploit directly. Once again, this will be covered more in the upcoming tasks. For now, it is important that you understand what port scanning is, why it is necessary, and that Nmap is the tool of choice for any kind of initial enumeration. Yo guys, this is gonna take forever. Okay, what to do? Okay, I'm just gonna pause the video here. So I probably need to add. Alright guys, we're back at it. The scan just finished, so let's just get down to business, right? So we identified some ports that were open, so let's get back to the questionnaire. So break on, sure. And then what were you asking? Was this conclude with the number of interesting ports open on this machine? Yeah. As you might have guessed, the firewall has been disabled, yeah, with the service completely shut down, leaving very little to protect this machine. Yeah. One of the more interesting ports that is open is Microsoft Remote Desktop, MSRTP. Microsoft Remote. Yeah, I do see that. What port is this open on? Well, it's 135. What? MS Microsoft Remote Desktop. I guess it's not 135. You probably want me to put this one. No, so it's a 4-digit number. Could it be the MSWVT server? 3389? Yes, it is. What service did Nmap identify as running on port 8000? On port 8000, there's running an HTTP-alt. What? That's first word of the service. Okay. Could it be HTTP? What hint? If it doesn't show you the service name, try running the scan again, possibly with the version numeration switch on SV. Okay. So mmap minus SV, and then the port is gonna be 8000, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.142.151. Okay, so we should be able to get the information needed for this, right? Okay. HTTP open icecast. This is the name of the service. Okay, so what does Nmap identify as the host name of the machine? As the host name. Sorry. We'll see about that. Nmap identifies the host name of the machine. All caps for the answer. Could it be NetBIOS? Nope. So let's see. If Nmap doesn't show you the host name, try running the scan again, possibly with the default script switch on SC. By the way, you don't want me to run this again for all, right? It took forever to run. Come on. So where's the host name? I'm not able to see the host name here. Hosts completed. Host is up. Sure. I mean, okay. Okay. Hopefully this is gonna give me the host name. Come on. Just one port, because I go through all the ports again, it's gonna take forever. TDTD. Dun dun dun. What do we get? There's no host name. There's no host name, guys. What could it be? How many letters? 3, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's not Microsoft. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, guys, I don't have the host name, and I'm not going to. 2020 challenge. Is this the ice? Yes. So okay. Okay. My dude. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's map. Okay, so this should give me the host name. Is it gonna take forever? Oh yeah, thank God. Okay, sorry guys, I just had to check a little write-up because I did not want to just scan this again. Okay, so what send map we're gonna give me as the host name? 96%. Just gonna check. Minus a parameter median. Okay, minus e script u. Probably in the nmap room. I can find this. What? Are you serious? Dark-PC. According to that write-up, that's the name. I mean, it's just a matter of time. I would have just found this as well. I mean, I don't consider that cheating because it's just to save some time. So gain access, yeah. Exploit the target vulnerable service to gain a foothold. Okay, now that we've identified some interesting services running on our target machine, let's do a little bit of research into one of the weirder services identified, Icecast, or, well, at least this version running on our target. Is heavily flawed and has a high level vulnerability with a score of 7.5. 7.4 depending on where you view it. What is the impact score for this vulnerability? Used for this question and the next. So they're asking me for the impact score. So the impact score is 7.6. Is that it? Dude. Then what is it? CVE dash 0. Oh yeah, okay, so you were asking for the whole thingy. Okay. So if it's not this one, it's probably this one. Yes, okay, so we landed. This is a 7.5. What are you talking about? Impact score, but what are you asking me here? You're asking me what is the impact score? Yeah, so the impact score is 6.4. Okay, thank God. Now that we found our vulnerability, let's find our exploit. For this section of the room, we'll use the Metasploit module associated with this exploit. Let's go ahead and start Metasploit using the command msf console. Sure. So we're starting Metasploit. After Metasploit has started, let's search for our target's exploit using the command search icecast. What is the full path? Starting with exploit for the exploitation module. If you are not familiar with Metasploit, take a look at the Metasploit module. I've done that module already. Okay, so we'll go. If we search for it, yeah, we're able to land. What is the full path? Starting with exploit, yeah. This is the full path. Let's junk it and paste it here. Okay, let's go ahead and select this module for use. So type either the command use icecast or use 0. Use 0 to keep it short. To select our search results. Okay, following selecting our module, we now have to check what options we have to set. Run the command show options. Yeah, I remember that. So let's see what we have to set. Everything is required. So Following select. Now I have to run the command show. What is the only required setting which currently is blank? The R hosts, right? This is the only one that's blank, as I can see, right? Yeah. First, let's check the layout host option is set toward tune 0. Yes, it is. IP, which can be found on the access page. Okay. So on the access page, this is not connected, but I am connected. Okay, so I guess we have to modify that. So it should be set lhost to 10.6.61.124. Okay, so if we show options again, it should have been updated. Yeah, on the EL port it's gonna be 444. Okay, with that done, let's see the last option to our target IP. Let's set that last option to our target IP. Now that we have everything ready, let's go. Let's run our exploit using the command exploit. Okay, the listen port. Should I? Okay, is this gonna run also my listen port here on Metasploit? I think so, right? I don't need to set up any endcat. So let's just run it, I guess. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, the last option, which would be set ARP hosts to 10.10.142.151. I forgot that. Okay, now we have everything ready to go. Let's run our exploit using the command exploit. Okay, I started the reverse TCP handler on my IP. Yeah. Okay. Who am I? LS. Ooh, okay. Looks like we're inside a Linux machine. I'm sorry, a Windows machine. So okay, exploit was run correctly. So what else do you want me to do? Enumerate the machine and find potential privilege escalation paths to gain admin powers. Woohoo! We've gained a foothold into our victim machine. What's the name of the shell we have now? Okay. It should be a command prompt for Windows. Oh, okay. Meterpreter. Is that it? Yeah. What user was running the icecast process? The commands used in this question next are a few are taken directly from the Metasploit module. Okay, what user was running? Get UID. Okay, I've forgotten some stuff, guys. I'm sorry. But okay, so if I go Janket, what user was running? This is the name of our user. What build of Windows is the system? What build of Windows is the system? Your name? No, probably let's hit the hint. Sysinfo. Damn. Okay. So what build of Windows is the system? It's a Windows 7. The build 7601. Okay, now that we know some of the finer details of the system we're working with, let's start escalating our privileges. First, what is the architecture of the process we're running? The architecture x86. What? Oh, I'm sorry, x64. What the heck? My reality is lost. Now that we know the architecture of the process, let's perform some further recon. While this doesn't work the best on them x64 machines, let's now run the command, the following command: run post this. This can appear to hang as it tests exploits and might take several minutes to complete. Okay, I guess then the sooner we run this, the better. Okay, so this can appear to hang as it tests exploits, and it might take several minutes to complete. Running the local exploit suggester will return quite a few results for potential escalation exploits. What is the full path starting with exploit for the first returned exploit? We'll see. So the first one that appeared was this one. Yes. Now that we have an exploit in mind for elevating our privileges, yeah, let's background our current session using the command background or Ctrl Z. Okay, the target is not exploitable. Okay, sure. So we're gonna background this session. Take note of what session number we have. This will likely be 1 in this case. We can list all of our active sessions using the command sessions. When it's outside of, okay, background session, yes, it's gonna be session 1. Okay, so now what do you want me to do? When outside of, okay, go ahead and select our previously found local exploit for use using the command use. Okay, use, and then exploit, right? Windows, and then local, and then bypass what event. Okay, so no payload configured default into Windows Mac. Okay, show options. What do I have to configure here? The session. Okay, so go ahead and select previously found local exploit. Okay, I've already done that. So then local exploit required a session to be selected, something we can verify with the command show options. Set this now using the command set session and the session number, which was 1, right? Now that we have set our session number, further options will be revealed. In the menu options, we'll have to set one more as our listener IP is incorrect. What is the name of this option? lhost. Okay, so you want me to set lhost to my IP, which is gonna be this. No, my IP is, what is my IP? 210.6.61.124. Yeah. Set this option now. You might have to check your IP on the TryHackMe network using the command IP under. Already done that. So what else? After we set this last option, we can now run our privilege escalation exploit. Run this now using the command run. Am I missing something? Let's just check real quick. Nope. The session to run this module on. Sure, run. Okay. So we set the last option, we're gonna run the privilege. Okay, no, this might take a few attempts, or you may need to relaunch the box and exploit the service in the case this fails. Following completion of the privilege escalation, this session will be opened. Interact with it now using the command sessions and the session number. Yeah, that's what I wanted to confirm. What permission listed allows us to take ownership of files? Set SE take ownership privilege. I guess it's that one. Yes. Looting. Okay. So now what are we doing? Looting. Learn how to gather additional credentials and crack the saved hashes in the machine. Prior to... Okay. Let's get this over with. Prior to further action, we need to move to a process that actually has the permissions that we need to interact with the LSASS service, the service responsible for authentication within Windows. First, let's list the process using the command ps. Okay, ps. Yeah, we're able to see all the processes. Am I able to see that process? Yes, I do see it. Okay, know that we can see processes being run by other systems. We have escalated permissions even though our process doesn't. In order to interact with LSASS, we need to be living in a process that is the same architecture in the LSA subservice. In the case of this machine, and the process that has the same permission as LASSS. The printer spool service happens to meet our needs perfectly for this, and it will restart if we crash it. What's the name of the printer service? The name of our printer service, okay. Should be, Often we take over a running program, we ultimately load another shared library into the program, a DLL, which includes our malicious code. From this, we can spawn a new thread that houses our shell. Could it be that one? Yes, okay. So, migrate to this process now with the command migrate -n and the process name. The process name is spool sv.x. Okay, migrating to that process as suggested here. Let's check what user we are now with the command get UID. Okay, we are the authority system then. Where's this one? Okay, now we've made our way to full administrator permissions, we'll start our sites on looting. Mimikatz is a rather infamous password dumping tool that is incredibly useful. Load it now using the command load kiwi. Kiwi is the updated version of Mimikatz. Loading extensions Kiwi. Okay, I've already run that command. Now, loading Kiwi into our method practice session will expand our help menu. Okay, take a look at the newly added section of the help menu now via the help command. Okay, so we're able to do some nasty stuff now. Okay. Which command allows us to retrieve all credentials? Well, creds all should retrieve all credentials, right? Creds all. Yeah. Run this command now. Creds all. Retrieving. So we got all the credentials. Ooh, sweet. Run this command now. What is Dark's password? What is Dark's password? The password is password. Okay. Let's junk it. Okay, Mimikatz allows us to seal this password out of memory even without the user dark logged in. As there is a scheduled task that runs the ice cast as the user dark, it also helps the Windows Defender isn't running on the box. Take a look again at the PS list. This box isn't in the best shape with both the firewall and the Defender disabled. Yeah, indeed. Explore post-exploitation actions we can take on Windows. Before we start our post-exploitation, let's revisit the help menu one last time in the method repair shell. We'll answer the following questions using that menu. What command allows us to dump all the password hashes stored in the system? Okay, let's do it again. Creds, hashes, passwords. Probably hash dump. Dumps the contents of the same database. Probably that one. Yeah, okay. Okay, we won't crack the administrative password in this case as it's pretty strong. This is intentional to avoid password spraying attempts. While more useful when interacting with the machine being used, what commands allows us to watch the remote user's desktop in real time? to watch the remote user's desktop in real time. Oh, it's screen shared. This is the name. Okay, so how about if we wanted to record from a microphone attached to the system? There would be oh yeah, record underscore mic. Record audio from the phone microphone for X seconds. Okay, record underscore mic. Okay, to complicate forensic efforts, we can modify timestamps of files from the system. What commands allows us to do this? Do never do this in a pen test unless you're explicitly allowed to do so. This is not beneficial to the defending team as they try to break down the events of the pen test after the fact. Well, to complete, what command allows us to do this? To modify the timestamps. I don't see the timestamps word yet. Modify the timestamps. Oh, file mention timestamp. Could this be the one? Timestamp. Yeah, that was the one. Mimikatz allows us to create what's called a golden ticket, allowing us to authenticate anywhere with ease. What command allows us to do this? Golden ticket. Golden ticket create. That's the one. Okay. So one last thing to note. Okay, golden are a function within allowing us to. Okay. I'm sorry. Golden ticket stacks are a function within Mimikatz which abuses a component to Kerberos, the authentication system in Windows domains. The ticket granting ticket, in short, the golden ticket attacks allows us to maintain persistence and authenticate the same user in the domain. One last thing to note, as we have the password for the dark, we can now authenticate the machine and access it via remote desktop. As this is a workstation, we'd likely kick whatever user is signed into it off if we connect to it. However, it's always interesting to remote into machines and view them as their users do. If this hasn't already been enabled, we can enable it via the following command. Run post Windows manage enable RDP. Okay. Enabling remote desktop. Okay. Extra credit. Explore manual exploitation via exploit code found on exploit DB. Sure. To learn more about alternative exploitation methods, check out the sequel of this room, Blaster. As you advance in your pen testing skills, you will be faced eventually with exploitation without the usage of Metasploit. Provided above is the link to one of the exploits found on exploit DB for hijacking ICE gas for remote code execution. While not required by the room, it's recommended to attempt exploitation via the provided code or by another similar exploit to further hone your skills. This was interesting. It was challenging points. So, okay, this was it, guys. Thank you for staying with me. Peace.